Are we live? We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to all new episode of the DTI Takeover Show here on Total Praise Radio. I am your host, Miss Kayla. I have a special guest with me today. I have Miss Dorcas Pittman. She is a trauma transformation coach. She's also the founder of Dorcas Pittman International. Hi, Dorcas. How are you?
I'm good, and you? How's everything going on your end?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
That's good. That's good.
Good. All right, Miss Dorcas. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Like you said, I am Miss Dorcas Pittman. I am a trauma transformation coach, and often actually had someone ask me that question today. What is a trauma transformation coach? Basically, I am a trauma coach for women who have specifically dealt with abandonment trauma.
Mm.
Abandonment trauma in the sense of not just having the lack of a parent in the household, but also,
Mhm.
you'll have a parent in the household, but they're not emotionally available. So you feel
Yeah.
that abandonment trauma from a place of emotion. So I work with women, specifically women of color,
Mhm.
helping them to heal from that abandonment trauma by speaking their truth, removing the shame of trauma, because oftentimes people are ashamed of the things that they've gone through. They're
Yeah.
afraid that people are going to look at them a certain way, and then reclaim your identity, not the identity that you were born with, but the identity according to Christ, so that you can live the most fulfilled, the most purpose driven life that and live authentically in your God given purpose. So that's what I do. I'm a mom. I'm a wife of almost 13 years, and so
Okay.
I wear many hats. I'm an author, and I'm also the most recently the editor in chief of Women of Hope magazine. So
You got a lot going on.
I do, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Okay. Now, so does this your trauma transformation coaching, does that stem from maybe something from you personally?
Yes, this is all lived experience. I've learned a lot. I did get my coaching certification because I wanted to be able to be an effective coach, but
Mhm.
majority of my knowledge comes from experience. My own experience with childhood trauma. Abandonment trauma being the root of it all. I would
Mhm.
say I went back and wanted to figure out, like, where did it start, like
Yeah.
the one thing that happened that really changed everything for me, and it
Mhm.
was the abandonment trauma. My mom left when I was 2 years old, not because she
Oh.
didn't want me.
Yeah.
She left me with her parents, my maternal grandparents. I'm from, when I say the backwoods of Alabama, I mean the backwoods of Alabama. Like,
Mhm.
I went back home last weekend,
Mhm.
grandma's 85th birthday, and my son went for the first time, and my house is no longer there, but
Oh wow.
family still live on a property, and it's still on a dirt road, and so there was nothing there. We're talking about in the 80s. Here we are in 88. There's nothing there, no job opportunities, but she did what she was a 22-year-old young adult, so
Mhm.
left. She left me in the care of her parents. They did the best they could. They took care of me. They raised.
Yeah.
um, they loved me how they loved me the way they knew to love me.
Mhm.
And so that was the root of it all, because of her leaving, I didn't have anyone to basically solidify my identity. I
Yeah.
in a lot, having people tease me, that's why your mom doesn't want you. So
Oh no.
it was a lot of self-worth. Am I not worthy enough for you
Yeah.
to come back and get me? My mom married, because my mom and dad never got married. I'm the
Mhm.
only child they have together. So my mom got married. I have my two brothers and my sisters, and so that was the whole thing. Was I not worthy enough for you to come back and get me? So I
Yeah.
often felt like the unwanted child. I would say the child that was birthed out of wedlock. So
Yeah.
um, that was like the root of it. Then dealing with the molestation, growing up as a child. Um, Not having my mom there. My dad, he lives about 15 minutes away, but I lived full time with my mom's parents. So dealing with molestation throughout different instances in my childhood, and so moving on to adulthood, I was raped in college.
Hmm.
So
I,
So me being a trauma coach, it stemmed from me healing from my own trauma.
Yeah.
Um, fast forwarding to after the birth of my second child, developed severe anxiety, developed severe postpartum depression. The postpartum depression was undiagnosed at the time, and so that
Mhm.
almost led to suicide.
Oh
Um,
wow.
that was 3 years, literally, what 2000? No, 4 years ago. This
Mhm.
this March, and May 2019, I checked myself into the hospital because I knew something wasn't right,
Yeah.
and that's where literally my journey of healing began. God gave me the title of my book, Breaking the Silence: Christianity and Mental Illness, while I was in the mental ward. He gave me the
Mhm.
title. He told me my story had to be told, and so from there I became a certified trauma coach. um, I have been coaching now, and I know I was born to do this. I
Yeah.
didn't die because I have an assignment to help other women, because there's so many women, especially Black women, who dealt with whether there was emotional abandonment trauma or the physical
Any
abandonment,
kind of trauma.
any type of trauma. I said, God, you
Mhm.
had me to experience pretty much all of it because I got to help everybody. But when, when I get back to the root of it, it was
Mhm.
an abandonment trauma that didn't mold my identity as a child, that didn't solidify my worth.
Yeah.
So me feeling as if my voice didn't matter because I didn't feel as if I mattered. And so not having that space as a child, and, in the black house, we don't talk about anything anyway. So when
Right.
you're you be like, come on, let's be real. When you did in a traditional black home, what goes on in this house stays in this house. We
And
don't
that's
talk
it.
about things. You sweep it under
Mhm.
the rug, you keep it moving. But I knew I was different. I didn't fit in. And so here I am as a child, trying to find my way,
Yeah.
um, not knowing how to find my way, and then having those things and those events and all of that bleed into my young adult, my teenage years, my young adult, my adult life.
Mhm.
33 years into my existence on this earth, that's when it kind of hit the fan. It hit the fan, and I hit rock bottom. But
Mhm.
also, when you hit rock bottom, you have no other place to go but up.
But
And so
right.
I have been on this journey of moving upward, healing, and not just going upward by myself, but stopping and helping other women along the way and bringing them up with me, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely. Now, does all this fall under the Dorcas Pittman International?
Yes, that is
Okay.
the parent. That is the Dorcas Pittman International is the umbrella, I would say, of my business, because I am the brand. Dorcas
Right.
am my brand, but Hope in her coaching. It's my coaching falls under Dorcas Pittman International. Any speaking engagements, my all of my publications right now. I only have one book published. I'm working on a couple of more projects, even my magazine, Women of Hope. So every aspect of my being is hope, because it was in that hopeless place that
Mhm.
almost ended it all. But
Right.
because I have hope now, I have a responsibility to this earth, to this world, to be that beacon of hope and to let other women know that they are the hope. Like God said, I come to give you hope in the future. We are the hope. And now
Mhm.
understand that, because we're the hope, because we give other people hope, we inspire other people through our testimonies. And if
Right.
you do something and you don't die, you have an obligation to be the hope that he speaks of, so that people can see a future.
That's a lot of pressure, Dorcas.
It's not, and I can see how it can be a lot of
Yeah.
pressure, but when I say we are the hope, it's in a sense of, when you go through something and you make it on the other side of it, don't you want other people to be able to make it through that same exact thing that you went through?
Right.
And so being that hope is not being afraid to share your story. And so a lot of my business and what I do, is stems on speaking your truth,
Mhm.
because it's your truth. There's so much power in your words, and when you understand the power that you have in your voice,
Yeah.
then there is no shame. Then you can really walk boldly in your God-given purpose. So it's not to put that pressure on you, but to understand that if you survive,
Mhm.
then why not help somebody else survive? And you do that from a place of being healed. You do that from a place of being whole. And you do that by using your voice to let people know, girl, I went through the exact same thing. But
Yeah.
this how I made it through it. That's how I know you're gonna make it through it. And you just take it from there.
So let me ask you this: how do you know when you've been healed or made whole?
Healing is a journey. And that's the thing. You never, I would say, when I'm gonna use an example with my mom
Mhm.
leaving me. I thought I had moved past it.
Right.
Thought I was healed from it until my daughter was born. And then I started seeing my mom dote on my daughter. And I'm like, well, I didn't get that. So whenever that if something happens and it doesn't cause a negative emotion
Mhm.
in you, then you know you've healed from it. Right
Mhm.
now. So for instance, if I was molested as a child
Mhm.
and I know my molestors. I can have a conversation with my molestor and not feel any anger,
Oh
any
wow.
bitterness. When you can pray for the person who hurt you,
Yeah.
that's a sign of being healed. When it no longer brings up negative emotions and resentment, that's a sign of being healed. When you don't want anything bad to that person.
Right.
Because healing is in alignment with forgiveness. It's not for the other person, it's for you. And
Mhm.
so even now, 2019, I knew I had fully forgiven and I was healed from my mama trauma, my mother wound.
Yes.
It was God literally said, the one thing that you want from your mother, she can't give it to you, and that's validation. And
Mm.
validate me
Wow.
because God already validated me. He validated me when I was born.
Right. That's all you need.
And that's all I need. And so now I look at it from my mom from a perspective. And I was talking to somebody about that today because we were talking about the mother wound.
Yeah.
I was like, I took her off of her pedestal because I'm a mom. And
Mhm.
as a mom, my child is the only being who's heard my heartbeat from the inside of my body. So
Right.
there's a different type of connection between a mother and a child. And so when you take that parent off of that pedestal of they can't do any wrong, they can't hurt me because
Mm.
I came from them. And you begin to see that parent as who she is. She's my sister in Christ. She's another woman who may be hurting. She may have been a wounded woman trying to raise a wounded child.
Right.
And so I can talk about those things those feelings that I experienced as a result of the abandonment trauma. And I talk from it. I can literally talk about it with a sense of joy because I've healed from it. I've learned from it. And so when you can go through something and it almost mirrors
Mhm.
or kind of, people call it triggers. When it no longer
Or
triggers
the
you
or it's
with
not your trigger no more.
with the negative emotions, then you know that you're either healed from it or you're healing from it. And the reason why I say healing is a journey because we're going to continue to go through life.
Right.
So you may heal from certain situations and certain things that have happened in your life, but something else is going to happen.
Right. So it doesn't really stop.
It doesn't really stop.
Mhm.
Have healed from the abandonment. I've healed from the rape and the molestation and the addiction and all of those things because I'm no longer triggered to do it. I'm no longer triggered by it. But
Mhm.
life is gonna happen.
Right.
But when you know how to heal, the healing process of it all is not as taxing, is not as daunting. You understand that this is just a process and I have to trust the process of this journey in order
Mhm.
to get to the other side. So that's why I say healing is a continuous journey because life is continuous.
Right. Absolutely. So your magazine that you've mentioned, what's all included in your magazine? What can we look forward to seeing?
Oh God. So the story about this magazine, last year I held my very first summit, The Woman Behind the Brand. It stemmed from my podcast that I had, and I wanted the program for the summit to be in a magazine. The summit was supposed to be in person, but it ended up moving virtual. And so, but I still wanted to have a space for the, highlight female, businesses,
Mm-hmm.
especially to tell people, people tell their story, because I'm real big about sharing your story, speaking your truth, being a testament to others. So the magazine is all of it. It's all things black.
Okay.
Um, on a
Love that.
about it. It's called Women of Hope because like I said, Jeremiah 29:11, he comes to give us hope in the future. And it's geared around allowing, for one, interviews with other black women who've gone through things, who've experienced things, who are telling their stories. It's all about inspiring. It's all about empowering you. It's black female owned businesses. Any business that's advertised in this business is black owned.
Okay.
Majority of them are female black owned, but I do have some. I know KBC and TV. It's black owned. It's out of Atlanta. They've had an ad in here. They were instrumental. My podcast was streaming on their network. Um,
Okay.
their first season, and so this last issue, Let Bob, it is a AI investment app, out of Atlanta, black owned. And so all of the stories in here are going to be basically interviews, going to be black women, but it's
Mm-hmm.
all to empower and to spread hope. And so I'm starting it's quarterly right now, because
Uh-huh.
it's just me. I said, who are you gonna give me this magazine? It's just me. But I get so much fulfillment out of
Mm-hmm.
interviewing um different women for the magazine. One of my clients, in the very first issue, she told her story. It doesn't have her real name because
Yeah.
she's still on her journey, but it's called Love Is Not Violent. And for her to even get to a place where she could talk about her share her story of domestic violence, like, that was huge. And so, because I am the owner of the creator of this magazine, I have full creative reign. So if I give my clients the opportunity, hey, would you like to share your story?
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's quarterly, I always look at what months are different awarenesses. And so, for the winter issue, of course, we had the heart health.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Baptist is a signature blog that it's kind of like a blog that I have in each magazine. Curvy Confidence Coach Donna Perry, she is the author of that blog, of that this article, and I tell you, she's phenomenal. Actually, for the issue that comes out next month, I actually
Mm-hmm.
interview her
Oh, that's
as,
cool.
as the author, and then she's writing her article from the perspective of Fat Black and Baptist. And so
Wow. Oh wow. Fat, black, and Baptist.
that part.
I want to read that.
We have style tips. We have, I mean, there's so much that it's so much. Introducing something new this for the spring 23 issue. We're gonna have the every month going. I mean, every issue going forward. We're gonna have a woman of hope, and so I'm
Okay.
introducing the spring 2023 woman of hope. And it's just basically because I know, as a first time entrepreneur, um, if you don't have a huge financial backing, you're like paying for
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So the very first year of this magazine, I'm not doing any ad. Like, there are no ad prices. Like, people, okay, no, you want your business in this magazine, God. This is everything about me. It's faith based. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is about me. Like, I'm
Gotcha.
so in tune with. I call him my daddy. Like, that's my daddy. I'm a Jesus groupie. But I said, okay, who do you want me to reach out to this time? Who do you want me? this past issue, La Vin's wines. She's out of New Orleans. She has her own sparkling wine collection. And
Okay.
people don't know that. And so she's in the back cover of the magazine. I mean, the first two issues, the inside cover were black female owned cosmetic lines that people like. I have one, the winter 23, she's here in Birmingham, and then the one from the inaugural issue, she's out of North Carolina. I'm actually wearing her foundation, today, and her lipstick. And so bringing bringing attention to the businesses that people don't see, like
Yeah.
everybody's on social media, but we know the algorithms. And so this is not my magazine is not local right now. We're on our, we've only had two issues released. We're in over
Mhm.
15 states because it's digital. And if you want to pre-order the print copy, you can. But I'm working on with a publisher to
Mhm.
mass produce the magazine. In the after this first year, right now, like I said, I do pre-orders for the print copy, but this is this is a part of Dorcas Pittman International. Now, when people hear that name,
Yeah.
the one word that I want them to hear is hope.
I can see that.
Because if you don't have hope, you
I
don't
can
have
see that.
healing.
Yeah.
And so, it's surreal that I went from wanting to take it all, and that's the part I get so I still get choked up about.
Mhm.
It's only been 4 years now. It's only been four
That's
years.
it.
That's it. And I went from literally about to blow my brains out to now, you know, being able to literally live the life that I was born to live, and that is to be that beacon of hope to
Yeah.
help the women. I'm not in competition with anybody but myself. And so
Mhm.
I am able to shine the light on other black women.
I know. That's
I
dope.
can I can have and honestly, after the very first year, this year I'm gonna be the cover, the face you see of the magazine.
Good.
But Jane, starting fall of 2020, no, fall of 23, you're gonna start seeing new faces on the cover of magazine, and it's going to be women of hope. Every issue you're gonna see a
Every
different
issue.
woman,
That's
because
dope.
not these, just because people need to see,
Right.
one, that it is possible.
Right.
Two, that black women can build up black women.
I like that.
Because when you're helping another black woman heal,
Mhm.
you are putting her in a place to really activate the power that is within her. And I can't
Mhm.
remember who said it. They were like, the CIA doesn't have anything on a black woman with a plan. When
That's
a black woman understands who she is and that she don't have to carry the weight of the world,
mhm.
when she can put herself first and not feel guilty about it,
Mhm.
when she can say no and mean it
And
and
be okay. Yeah.
okay with it, when she can be okay with not being okay and be okay with that,
Mhm.
then she knows that she has a crowd of other black women who are rooting for her to win, that are going to like literally cheer for her but have a come to Jesus meeting out of love at the same time,
Yeah.
who's not going to drop her. How can she not win?
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Like, how can you not? Because you have somebody who cares enough about you to tell you to care about yourself.
Right.
And not only just to tell you, but say, here, take my hand. I'm gonna help you.
I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I love it.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, how can people follow you on your social media?
Instagram, I am at coach underscore Dorcas P. I'm also that on TikTok and Facebook. I am Dorcas Pittman Dorcas Pittman International LLC. Um, so yeah, that's where you can catch me on. I'm mainly on Instagram.
Right.
I'm getting into TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot trying to do all of that, but my main home is Instagram, and I do post some things on the business page of Dorcas Pittman International on Facebook. um and so, but yeah, that's how they can get in contact with me. Of course, my website, dorcaspittman.com. Keep it
Mm-hmm.
simple. It's just a name. All I have, everything about me is out there. If you want to order the magazine, the previous digital copies of the previous issues, you can. You can you'll be able to subscribe to the print or digital issue of the magazine, and so yeah.
That's it. All right, Dorcas. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show
Oh, thanks for
today.
having me. Thanks
You
for
are
having
welcome. Everybody else, y'all make sure y'all continue to check out and listen to Total Praise Radio by going to www.totalentradio.com. Hit the Total Praise Radio button. Join the group. Join the group on Facebook, Total Praise Radio group, and like the page on Facebook at Total Praise Radio. Until next time, everybody, I am your host, Miss Kayla, and we are signing out.